Last night, early hours of this morning, I made an attempt at my life. Why am I still here? I don't know where to go. So, a few people in my life have known of a plan, or my suicide plan, and it's been in the process for past, well, actively in the process since I got arrested on the 7th of September. That was the final push for me. And it's now 2 months later. I think it's the 12th of November today. And I told my mum goodbye 2 days ago. I packed all my stuff up. I sold all the stuff that I wanted to get rid of. Whatever's left, it's for mum to take and do what she wants with, to distribute around the family. Labelled as appropriate, but I've spent all my money, all my months, universal credit, getting drunk, buying drugs, in the hope that I'll be able to slip my wrists, and I slipped my right wrist last night a few times in the same place, and it was too painful, despite the amount of drink I had in my system. I probably didn't have enough drink in my system, but drinking neat vodka, and I couldn't get any more cocaine to numb the pain, so that plan went out the door. My plan was to go out on a high, enjoy myself and indulge, and I couldn't. I found a contact, but he was sort of AWOL, so I couldn't get any more, and I wanted to OD, and cocktail of drink and drugs, and anyway, I woke up to find this in my bed from where I passed out last night with this in my hand, and my right wrist is, it's things up. I just want to be free of this pain, and when I mean pain, I don't mean this pain, I mean the pain of my life. I don't want any more pain, I don't want any more brick walls, I don't want any more repetitive betrayals, I don't want any more backstabbings, I don't want any more walking over my heart, I don't want any more financial pain, I don't want any more impulsive decisions and bad decisions, I don't want any more physical pain, I don't want any more habitual, ritual, repetitive behaviour that I can't seem to get out of. And as for my brain, oh God, No one knows what it's like living with the turmoil that is my brain. I swear my imagination is my best friend, but it's my worst enemy. Going back to me being arrested and betrayals. The daughter that I've been living for since I was first suicidal in 2008. I was homeless for 7 years and I only carried on in 2008 in the midst of my homelessness for my daughter, and it turns out that I've wasted 14 years fighting for my daughter, for her to betray me and expose my secret when she said she wouldn't. So the one person I thought I could trust with everything, with just being me, because I thought she was me, you know, she obviously displays so much externally and internally of how much of a daddy's girl she is, but she's, I think she's more mentally ill than I thought. Well, I mean, I knew she was, I don't know, there's a personality disorder somewhere, I think it's passed down from her mother. No, I just can't believe how for someone for 2 years could be, you know, I mean, she has shown contradictive tendencies. Obviously, she's been doing that all the time. She does it all the time, but she doesn't know who she is, and she fully admits that. She's the thing is, one minute she says she's completely fucked up in the head, and then the next minute she's acting like a victim who's done nothing wrong. So it's very confusing. And her mother is like that, or was like that when I was married to her. She used to admit that she's a bad wife and she's, you know, this and that and the other. And then in front of other people, she'd be like, no, you know, it's the complete opposite. And so, yeah, as you can imagine, yeah, my secret being that I've grown, my paedophilic tendencies have grown massively. I think since my daughter moved in with me, it's just got worse because obviously, you know, she's living with me and we sort of talk openly about things, so sex and things like that, but it's got to the point where I need to leave this planet because I'll be isolated away somewhere because I want to, you know, contradictory to what my self-awareness document says. I want to live out these fantasies, but obviously I won't be able to get away with it. So, you know, I'm not a part of the ruling class. You know, they get away with everything, right? So, if I was to do anything like that, it would be a different story for me. Yeah. So, stay woke. Yeah, I don't know what to do. I think I'm gonna have to make a phone call today. I didn't want to, but I don't know what else to do. Short from sticking a knife into my heart. I don't know what to do. I've hit a dead end. So I'm just about to indulge in one last morning ritual, and yeah, the rest is history. If I don't make it for whatever reason, then please just remember that I want, I want this. I've been wanting this for a long time. My suicidal tendencies came back in March this year after a long string of disappointments and depressing situations and loss and banging my head against a brick wall and people taking advantage of me and my business and my personal feelings and my kind-heartedness. People continuously lying to me. Having to deal with the fact that I'm almost 44 and I only found out last year that the reason for my behaviour or for certain behaviours, I found out myself. No one else could recognise it. I could be on the ASD. I could be on the spectrum for autism, so which explains a lot. I'm very, I think I've learned to be self-aware. I don't know if I've always been self-aware, but I think being locked up in the police cell so many times during homelessness and having time just you and your consciousness in a cold brick vessel that you can't sleep in, and you're experiencing a kind of hell because all you can hear is screaming voices next to you and this anguish. And you can't get it out of your head, and it's like anyone who knows me knows I don't sleep because I'm a light sleeper. It's when I say I don't sleep, I mean I don't sleep properly. It's I think it's a curse of being creative or something and left-handed. I don't know. My brain just doesn't shut up. It's just echoing constantly. See, when I say get rid of this pain, it's so much. It's so many different levels: physical pain, psychological pain, emotional, sexual, financial. It's all the alls, all the ALs, all the OLs, all of them. All of them. Me being me, I have all this written down. I have, apart from the self-awareness document, I have a letter that I was going to email to the local MP, the housing and the council in regards to my occupational or my sort of domestic living scenarios over the past years that have made me worse. They're everywhere. Every fucking home I move into is like a cardboard box. I'm sharing a house at the moment. It sounds like with two other families. I'm in between a single black lady and a Muslim lady, a Muslim family of 5, husband, wife, and 3 kids, baby, and 2 primary school kids, I think. And I mean, I've gotten used to walking properly, walking sort of light-footedly over the years because, just out of respect, because I know how noise vibrates. I tell you what, this house, all you have to do is put your foot down firmly on the floor and you can feel it vibrate through. So when the kids are running up and down, and they do run up and down every fucking day and every night, it doesn't matter about having 3 floors in this house. No matter where you go, you can hear the noise. I mean, to give you an example of how bad this house is. 2 doors down, so the door past the Muslim family is another Muslim family there. A man and his cousin, I think his uncle's there sometimes, and pulling out, he has his bathroom renovated. Now I could feel the vibrations of his bathroom being renovated from 2 doors down. And these houses are not, they're 3 floors. They're just the average width, mid-terrace house in West Yorkshire, right? So on a slopey street, you know those ones, right? And with the basement and ground floor and an upper floor, and then like a mini loft if possible, but I don't have a loft. So anyway, I've been here since Father's Day. Before that, I was in a new build in Hawley, and that sent me into a deep depression. The first night I moved in there last September. Wow, oh my gosh. Again, I was in between. That was the vertical situation rather than horizontal, so I've got neighbours above and below me. I was on the first floor. Ground on the second floor. I could hear everything and feel everything. Oh my gosh. And of course, being on the autistic spectrum means my senses are heightened, right? So this is why I have problems sleeping, because everything wakes me up. Every slightest little thing. Oh, it takes me forever to get to sleep. It was a lot worse when I was a kid. In my adult years, not so much. You know, take drugs and, well, you know, smoke weed. When I say take drugs, so-called drugs, you know. But yeah, on the topic of drugs, I also took a cocktail of pills last night. The last 2 Viagra pills that I found from my escorting days. I used to hold them just in case I had issues with any performance problems. And you got to satisfy your clients, right? But anyway, and I could just all the pills I could find. I think 3 ibuprofen and a load of vodka. I don't want to be here anymore. I've got so much to say, but as I said, I've got loads. I've got a suicide note. I've actually got a suicide poem, and I've got a self-awareness document, and a document talking about my domestic situation. And yeah, going back to the Hawley flat, the flat before that. So I was in the Hawley flat for what? So September to June, so not even a year. What's that? It's about 8-9 months, right? But before that, I was in a flat in Red Hill for a year. No, for a year. Sorry. God, I don't know where my mind is. For 7 years. It was 2012 when I moved from Gloucestershire in April, and then until I moved to Hawley. So 2012 to last year, which is so 6 years I was in Red Hill for, and it's kind of a combination of this house and the Hawley flat, in the sense of it looks like a house, but it sounds like a flat. So it's kind of like this place really, but it's just on one floor. I'm on the ground floor, and there's only one neighbour above me, but there's a neighbour beside me as well. So high walls, just like this one is. You know, that flat was so bad that I could hear my upstairs neighbour snoring. So it was like I was sharing a bedroom with him. I mean, I laugh now, but I tell you what, when you're hearing like foghorn and snoring like above you, oh my God. I mean, seriously, man. I mean, I know they design social housing to make people go mad and for places to burn down and flood easy and everything else, right? But people think it's a selfish act, me taking my own life, but that's because they don't know what's going on inside me. So if I'm a risk to people, how is removing myself from this planet selfish? If anything, it's selfless, because I don't want to be harming people. I mean, even on a social level, people isolate me. My sister hasn't spoke to me. She doesn't. My half sister on my mother's side, she can't keep up the veil anymore. She can't keep it real anymore. I mean, she can't keep up the act is what I mean. She's been fake all this time, and then the act is, she can't keep it up, and therefore it slipped. It's sort of just ran, I think around my 40th birthday, sort of ran before the time she sort of stopped. I stopped getting happy birthday texts, and I thought, yeah, she's just one of those people that's just wrapped up in her own life and don't give a fuck about nothing that's going on, apart from what's going on under her own roof. As long as she's got a man by her side, that's it. That's all she cares about. It's always been that way ever since I've been homeless. I used to visit her all the way from Cheltenham and spend time with her and bond. Now she's got a man up her backside. She doesn't care about nothing else. Material things coming her way. so be it. Yeah. She's got too much of a dad in her anyway. My dad's an arsehole. So. Not saying my dad's any better, but his dad was in our life and made a negative difference. So my dad wasn't in my life. So, yeah. I'd rather not be with a man like that than to be a man like that, and in my life. So anyway. So, being so self-aware, I've not been clinically depressed. I've not been diagnosed, is what I mean. But since my stepdad died on St. Patrick's Day last year, that's when I recognised I didn't recognise myself. I just recognised I changed completely. It's not as if the man was living with me or I'd lived with him. I think, again, anything that affects me negatively, it's always psychological. All my physical pains, well, not all, I don't know, but I remember the one with my back that triggered in 2006, January. I was on my mum's sofa. The daunting thought of something then reflects on my body, or something that doesn't, how to explain it? Something that my emotional makeup or my feelings, my biological makeup doesn't like something it's received, and therefore it reflects in pain. So I'll give you an example. One of the court appearances, in the middle of fighting for my daughter, Alison told the court that she professes that my daughter still didn't want anything to do with me. Now, as soon as I heard that, I've got this wave of pain that shot down my body, I think more from my pelvis to my feet. And I think that's quite, thinking about that now, I'll tell you that in a second. I get distracted easily. So when I heard that, my legs almost gave way. Like, it was weird. Because I was standing up next to my Mackenzie friend at the time. I had a proper legal representative, and he times racked up a debt and didn't pay him. But there was a business deal that didn't go through properly, and he ended up with a debt. Well, I ended up with a debt, and he just, he walked away. So yeah, anything that, if I receive sort of anything negative, so my body's just full of pain. Like, people don't understand. Like now, so when I was saying about from my pelvis down, I've been suffering with this unbelievable pain for about 4 years now, 3-4 years maybe, don't know. And I just thought it was stress because of going in and out of court and dealing with my ex-wife and things like that, and no money, and lack of food, and I was going to the food bank and stuff before my daughter was coming, and then I was still going to the food bank when my daughter landed on my lap. So people don't realise how bad I've not had the right support, so I've been isolated all my life from people and employment situations, and people not understanding me, people just firing me or turning their backs on me because they don't understand me, rather than trying to find out and learn and get an education about mental health. But to be fair to them, it's not as if that was a topic back then. It's only in the past year or so that I've been made aware of this autism thing for myself. So, but at least some people, should sort of, broaden their minds and not just have this black and white thought process of, oh, he's weird, or oh, he's this, or he's that, he scares me, or whatever. There's got to be a reason behind it. Instead of, people just don't care. People are just wrapped up in their own little circles, man, their own little bubbles. I mean, if my family can do this to me, then what does it say for other people? Right? I've always said family is overrated, and well, my family is, because, I mean, no disrespect to mum, but one of my half sisters on my dad's side said to me, how can I be homeless for 7 years when you've got family? My response was, family's overrated, right? You know, as much as my mum loves me, she doesn't. There's certain things that doesn't quite fall in place. She's not been educated. Obviously, there's a lot of, my mum and her friends weren't, you know, I think they'll be more abused than educated. Some of them. Can't speak for my mum. My mum was fine. I think my mum didn't get abused by her parents, but I noticed a lot of her friends got abused by their family members and things. And the education was poor. That's why mum moved me out of there. She moved out of Leeds and went to London. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up now.